right, let's get this show on the road. Daily Bone Podcast, Wednesday, September 11th. Here to discuss all things Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we are set to discuss all the news surrounding last night's debate, the state of affairs going on in the meme coin market, and the red hot XCOPY NFT market. XCOPY, a very well-known NFT artist, has seen a ton of success. The market is paying attention to his works right now. It seems like in parallel with CryptoPunks must be, must mean something. So we're going to get into that. Easy, how you doing this morning, bub?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. I enjoyed the debate. Happened 8 a.m. my time. So not too shabby. A nice morning debate for the chaos that would ensue, of course. Seeing some of the poly market odds were rather interesting. I'd say that is probably the nicest way to describe those. You had Springfield and Cat were the two big hitters, which if you followed Donald Trump's Instagram beforehand, it should have been a no-brainer. He was posting cat memes with Gronk and ChatGPT images for a good 4 hours before the debate. So he basically teed that one up. That was a no-brainer. But, yeah, I mean, not too surprising to just kind of see how the market's reacted. I mean, there's been no mention of crypto by either party since the Bitcoin conference. So it seems like the crypto price action's more or less completely decoupled from anything having to do with the political standpoint at the moment, which is I'm fine with that.
I think that tells you a lot about, I mean, well, it's just one thing. Crypto's not mainstream. It's just not mainstream. So if you're going to go do a mainstream ass debate on ABC with the two candidates running for president, then you're not going to mention crypto. That's also why Trump's been just doing whatever he wants with crypto, dropping more NFTs, all this stuff, because he knows the mainstream media won't talk about it because it's like it's not happening. It's literally like it's not happening, to the mainstream media. I'll tell you, last night, instead of watching the debate, because I just can't watch it. I just cannot do it. I was telling Ray beforehand, I just can't do it. I just went and played volleyball, and I went to this new facility where they separate it by level. And, I was feeling like swagged out after my team almost won the championship in that little league. So I did intermediate level. I almost did advanced. That's how delusional I am, that I almost went and did advance when I've probably played volleyball for a total of 3 hours in my life. I get there, and it was the most humbling experience. There were two 5 foot tall, 45-year-old ladies. And when they first started, in my head, I was like, oh, maybe I should have done advanced, blah, blah, blah. They were both nasty. They were both sick. And I'd say just head and shoulders the worst player there at the intermediate thing. So I just had this rude awakening where I was like, oh, wow, okay, I have a lot of work to do on my volleyball game. I don't think I can show up to this intermediate beach 2v2 again before some Italian volleyball player from the Olympics. Ray's just pulling up a funny image of someone from the
You're playing 2v2, man. That's a lot different than if you're playing 4v4, 5v5, you got a little grid that you got to work in. You're playing 2v2. You better have some damn core strength and some damn lower body strength to plant and move, man.
Oh, you just get completely exposed to the point where you start to see people's faces change because they're just not having fun, and they're not going to serve to you because they're like, well, look, there's only a 60% chance he's even going to be able to field this serve.
Return it. Not even get it across the net. Just be able to stop it from hitting the ground.
And they're trying to play volleyball. So they're like, let me serve to the other person that actually fucking knows what they're doing versus this dumbass in the corner. It was pretty bad. My buddy came with me, and he's even less experienced than me. So we just stood out like sore thumbs, and he goes, we should play them, and he points to these 19-year-old girls, because he's thinking that's an easy target. And I go, yeah, so we can get embarrassed. I was like, you want to go?
I was thinking more get a number.
You want to go lose in sports to two 19-year-old girls? Okay, let's go do it. Let's go lose in sports.
Be like, you guys, we need a private tutorial lesson after this. You girls are better than us.
Well, they definitely were better than us. But anyway, look, why don't we dive into this weather report? Then we're going to talk about meme coin instincts, which is going to be a lot of fun using the Pump Vision tool. But why don't we hit this weather report first?
Cool. Easy. Is it you today?
It can be if it needs to be.
Just kidding. Today's Wednesday, September 11th. Looking over at the crypto roundup, the majors are down slightly with Bitcoin just under 57K, Ethereum around 2,300, Solana at 132. The leading top 100 coin is Aave. I feel like we've been saying that a lot lately. Up 6% on the day to $2.2 billion. Over the past 24 hours, Kamala Harris flipped Donald Trump and is now the poly market favorite to win the election after coming into the last night's debate with a 7-cent spread. Right now, it's pretty much neck and neck. They're both in the 49s. Kamala with a slight lead. Crypto and Bitcoin were not mentioned once during the 2+ hour debate. Could have told you that. Free money. If you're betting along on that, I'm sorry, man. You're just not. You should be pro-communist because you're not going to make it in capitalism. Just letting you know. Next up, another new Bitcoin token standard. Taproot Wizard founder Udi Wiedemheimer announced the Catnip token protocol that will be ready to go live if and when the OP Cat standard is added to the Bitcoin code base. I know what that means. The new standard provides upgrades over runes and BRC20 tokens by further reducing transaction friction. So, hey, maybe it'll breathe a little life into the ordinals and the runes over there. Finally, last but not least, the U.S. CPI data was released this morning with CPI and core CPI both coming in right at estimates. The odds of a 50 BPS September rate cut fell from 25% to 11% on Polymarket as we look ahead to next week's FOMC meeting. That's it for the weather report. Back to you in the studio. Hope you also bet on Springfield and Cats last night.
Fantastic weather report, Kicks. Great pronunciation on Ave, Udi Werdheimer, Opcat, and more.
I'm German too, so.
Kamala, I love it. I mean, that's a harder one. But anyway, excuse me. So we got to talk a little bit about meme coin instincts. So what Ray's going to do is Ray's going to pull up Pump Vision on BullX. And solely based on the names of the meme coins and the thumbnails, which is pretty much all you can kind of go off of many times in meme coins, we're going to draft one meme coin each that we think is going to perform best over the length of the show. So this is a typical meme coin time horizon. This is a 49-minute time horizon here, ladies and gentlemen. So all you meme coin traders are like, well, that's actually kind of long. Yeah, we're going to go 49 minutes here, 49-minute hold. And the winner is going to be given the crown based on their meme coin instincts at the end. So just to
cool.
recap, we got BullX tool, pulled up. And just based on the image and the name, we're going to pick memes. I mean, Ray, I'll let you kind of lead this.
I got mine already right there on the screen.
What do you got?
Rubber chicken mask.
Rubber chicken, I knew it.
Immediately.
Rubber chicken mask for easy.
I gotta say, I'm a little biased on this one. They rated my tweet overnight aggressively. Like I was like, what the fuck is this? So I actually bought this ticker and I've already sold this ticker. I got in at about 36K and sold it at 90K. Hit a 3x overnight.
Nice.
Purely because they just blew up my Twitter. I posted something about like, if you want to live in Asia, great food, cheap, friendly people.
Yeah, I saw that post. That seemed like a good post.
Time zones suck ass. Like that was the main thing. Like the time zone's absolutely horrendous for working in the US. They blew up the tweet. They bothered the hell out of me. And I never buy Twitter shills until I saw that there was probably 30 retweets, 20 favorites on this one. And they hadn't even gone to Radium yet. They had not even graduated. So it was like a wicked early pump fun. I was like, whatever.
Oh, so a bot army convinced you to buy it, dude?
Quite literally, yeah. Quite literally. But dude, they had custom pictures. Like every one of the bots posted a different picture. So I was like
different AI generated, or are we talking real shit?
AI and someone wearing the chicken mask. So
dude,
I was
I kind of want to set up my own bot farm. I feel like
it worked, dude.
Just target easy.
It worked. I never.
Dude, I got hit with a bot farm yesterday. They launched some new blockchain, and like a dude every hour is replying to someone that tagged me like, "This blockchain's gonna fix interoperability problems." Anyways, don't want to derail us. We're here. We're in the zone. I got to pick one quick. Do we have any about cats or ducks being eaten? First and foremost,
I feel like that's
all last night. There's an army. Yeah.
I've got dinner cat here.
Perfect. Lock it in.
Dinner cat
That's
for
a
kids.
4K market cap.
Lock it.
One soul says that thing on a 4X.
Easy mode.
$4,000 market cap, ladies and gentlemen. This thing
We're having cat for dinner tonight.
All right, what am I going to pick? Look, so there's some stuff that I actually think I'm kind of bullish on, but I don't want to say the name of it because it's just so incredibly and intensely fucked up that I just don't even want to like say it on the show. I mean, that's kind of where we're at. Is if I see something that I'm just super offended by, I'm like, well, that one actually could have legs. Let me see.
Rubber horse mask is pretty good, dude.
Yeah, rubber horse mask is pretty good. That's pretty tame. That's pretty pedestrian.
Yeah, that's a
compared to
calm
some of
one.
the stuff.
That's a calm one.
That's a calm one. I'm still looking here, ladies and gentlemen. Ray's scrolling. He's scrolling here on Pump Vision. Let me see what else we got. Keep going down, Ray. I'm gonna just call some names out. These are not my picks, but things that I find quasi interesting. Okay. Let's keep on going. These are pretty pedestrian. I mean, Trump stuff is definitely something that I think is, it could potentially run a little bit. Billy Dog, I'm assuming that's a playoff of Billy Cat. A TRUMP, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of Trump-related stuff.
Buying a Trump vibes, man. You're trying to analyze it.
Yeah, you're thinking too much. Kicks went for a 4K, and I bought one that's people putting chickens on their fucking head.
I'll go David.
Yeah, pick fuck that bitch.
I'm going David, which is the David Muir or whatever, or however you pronounce his name, on ABC.
All right, we got David.
I'm sorry. Kicks just going pick fuck that bitch. Dude, it is 9 in the morning.
It's right in the middle, man. It's right. It's sitting there. It's asking for the pick.
What does your wife think, Kicks?
I mean, she wouldn't appreciate the language. She's a very
You
fine
have
lady.
a daughter, my friend.
Yeah, they're gonna be real cool though.
It'd be real cool.
Oh
Okay.
man.
All right. Well, we made our picks. I went with David. Easy went with rubber chicken mask, and Kicks went with
Dinner cat.
Dinner cat. That's a fucking good one. That's a really good one. So we will see which one performs best over the next now 44 minutes. Long time horizon here, ladies and gentlemen, on meme coins. Ray, can you just give us the breakdown of what the market caps were going into this?
Yep, I'm running it right now. So 63K for a rubber chicken mask. We've got 2.7K for I believe this one is David.
For David, 2.7K on David,
and 3.7K for Dinner Cat.
Real underdogs there.
So I mean, there's not much room to go down. So if Dinner Cat goes down,
Yeah, I'm just hoping we have a good dev. I'm just hoping it's a really good dev. You know what I mean?
Need some good memes. Oh wait, we gotta bring the man, the myth, the legend on. Get his pick.
Nick slipped on. I think he's just troubleshooting some audio. Wasn't expecting him today. Pleasant surprise.
Buy the Trump did 9/11 token. I'm out.
I mean, look, so what I commented when I said I was really offended by some, but I thought they might be picks. They were the 9/11 related meme coins, as you can imagine. I would think that one of those could potentially run today as it kind of works in crypto. But I thought it was pretty fucking offensive to bring that up on the show and be like, that one's bullish. So I skipped that. But anyway, we got our low market cap, 2.5K market cap stuff. Nick?
Biden's doing 9/11 today.
I did like that interview. He's like, watching the debate tonight with my daughters. Tomorrow I'm doing 9/11. That was fire. That was a fire comment right there. Pretty funny stuff if you didn't see that clip. So ladies and gentlemen, that was our meme coin instincts segment. We will see who wins. I mean, we've got some low market cap action right there. Nick, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Fantastic. We were about to actually quickly talk about the debate and how Kamala Harris has now flipped Trump on Polymarket. I believe it was a 6% spread. 6% spread going into the debate, if I'm not mistaken, with Trump in the lead. And that
I think it was actually as high as 8. I think 8 was not much, but yeah, you're pretty close. Huge swing though. Pretty substantial swing.
Did you see Twitter is saying that she was wearing a earring with
earpiece earring? Dude,
I think that's 100% true. Fun fact: in my sales job that I worked at for 4 years,
wow, you're just calling it out. You're saying it's 100% accurate?
That's what I think, because I have personal experience with that stuff in my sales job. The way that I was trained and the way that we would train people is your manager would actually plug into your headset and listen to your call and literally feed you word for word what you were supposed to say. And it's how you could get salespeople up to speed really fast, because they literally were just rocking and rolling with their managers and being put in live situations. And you can get so good at just repeating what comes in your earpiece as the person saying it. I was a machine at that. You could literally walk me through reading through a scientific journal of things that I just did not understand with someone's voice in my ear. So if she just drilled that for 2 weeks with somebody in her ear ahead of this, if they were just working on that, she would be ready to cook.
This
Absolutely
looks like
ready
a
to cook.
shitcoin though, so I don't know. I'm a little skeptical. Like,
Yeah, but Nick, this is a nice breakout on the right here. Finally broke the downtrend. We're trending back up, dude.
okay, fair enough.
I think, well, it's actually kind of bullish for the Trump side. And I'm not even trying to bring in any kind of bias, but it is, in my opinion, bullish for the Trump side that everyone's saying she had a way better night. She head and shoulders won the debate, blah, blah, blah. And it's a 1% lead. So I think with more wild shit happening in the world, Trump memeing it, it'll probably flip back the other way. The more interesting thing is that the gap narrowed on Pennsylvania. I think really the big thing that you should look at is the presidential election winner in Pennsylvania. That seems to be the state. Some guy on Twitter, he bought a house in Pennsylvania just so that he could impact Pennsylvania with his vote. And he's like made it his life's mission to register as many people to vote for Trump in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is intense. Fun fact, Kamala Harris's initial VP pick, who Kix had picked, the gentleman Shapiro, is a Pennsylvania guy. So that might have been, that's a huge factor. The fact that she went with Tim Walz over that guy. So anyway, look, Easy, did you place bets on what people were going to say?
I didn't. I haven't been too aggressive on that stuff. I should just be following Kix and Tyrael, to be honest, because they've hit everything. Like, Tyrael does like full chat GPT analysis of prior stuff and like really gets into it. And the guy just absolutely crushes. It's insane how well he does. Ray, how did he end up last night? It seems like you tailed everything.
I was down 20%. I marked
really?
Tyrael's top. But I think so. I didn't take everything he took. They hit a couple long shots I didn't take. The biggest ones that didn't hit were the border bets. They were like,
basically border was non-existent.
I think Trump said it like 13 or 14 out of the 15 times, and Kamala said it like 3 times.
But it seemed like the entire debate last night was way more like tailored towards fracking and the pipeline stuff, just because of what Pennsylvania is and like where the focus is there. Which now almost seems like if you're going to swing states, you can basically guarantee that the conversation will be tailored towards that swing state versus what we've been seeing from the town halls before, which were largely more general. So border, the Trump Springfield cat one though was like I wish I hammered those when I started seeing the Instagram pictures of Trump posting AI pictures of cats. Like you knew he was gonna bring that up just based on him slamming Instagram pictures for hours beforehand.
Yeah, I was listening to Kix and Tyrael. I was flipping actually back and forth between their stream and your stream. So it was cool seeing the meme coin side and then the Polymarket side as well.
The meme coin side sucked, Ray.
The one thing that they pointed out is like during the border question, like Kamala completely derailed him. Like she said something about like his campaign,
size of his debates.
Rallies get like no people leave early, and that fired him up. So instead of talking about the border, he just like got real pissed off and like talked about her like campaign trail, and like it was a mess.
That's a good way to bait him, because if you're gonna, his stuff's bigger than yours, right? Like our rallies are really big and everything like that. So if you're gonna say that the rallies aren't big when they're the biggest rallies ever, then he's gonna do it. What they will do is they will probably use that in promotional stuff. But anyway, look, Kix, did you cook on your picks?
Oh yeah, dude. Did. It was a fucking night. We would have cooked even better. We were one short on border hitting on Trump. And we had size on that one, and that would have been a 2x, but we still cooked it. Multiple X's, let's say. It was good.
I just want to say the thing with Trump about the pets, Ansem's top tweet yesterday, #1 tweet says, Am I seeing correctly that people are saying there are Haitians eating people's pet cats in a town in Ohio? This surely can't be true. That was at 10 a.m. yesterday.
Great tweet. Yeah, so we hit on cats.
Trump got his info. That's what I'm saying. Like, are you seeing what's happening? He's paying attention to crypto Twitter. He's seeing Ansem come out with the Haitians eating people's pet cats and feeling honestly probably screwed over by Ansem.
I mean, the best was Springfield hitting. Springfield hit about 2 minutes in, and it's like opening speech, which was another 5x, which was phenomenal. So yeah, we hit.
Yeah, I heard that he saw Razmir's bet. He saw Razmir doing the street interviews and said that Springfield was a free bet at 15%. So Trump is just completely in crypto Twitter. It's clear as day at this point.
And it's not the only time he hit it. I was surprised Springfield was priced this low. At his last rally, you could have gotten Aurora, Colorado for a similar 5x. Current event, Venezuelan gangs there. And he teed it up. So as soon as I saw Springfield on the books, I was like, this is in the bag. He's going to bring it up once for sure. But dude, yeah, it was a phenomenal night. On our main account, we made like 2-3 grand. On my personal account, I fucking cooked harder because I went hard on Springfield, dude. I went fucking fat on Springfield, dude. It was a hell of a night, dude.
Kix doesn't care about the actual debate at all. He's just like
drinking beer out of my collect Trump card. Exclusive, man, made with glass. You only got this if you went to Mar-a-Lago, if you minted enough Donald Trump NFTs. No, here's the thing.
You flew that thing home?
Yeah, dude. I flew that shit home, dude. And some posters, some real shitty posters he handed out. Yeah, I got 2 of them, collectibles. But yeah, no. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really think the debate swings votes in a meaningful way at all. I don't think that there's very many swing voters that are like sitting on the fence, and that's what makes their decision. I definitely think it can make people feel more or less confident in the person that they like. Sometimes there's some exceptions. I think in 2016, Trump kind of owned Hillary in that debate when he's like, "You're going to jail." I think that one definitely kind of swung some votes, but I think it's going to stay a pretty much a 50-50 race. I do think the second debate could be a little bit more juicy. I think maybe no earrings. Sorry, not earphones. Earrings allowed. But I think it'll be good. I think Kamala outperformed expectations. I think she did a good job. I think the reason why she outperformed expectations is the previous person was a walking dementia patient. So relative, but even despite that, I think she did good. People also forget she was a prosecutor. She literally would go into a courtroom and debate. That's what a lawyer does in a courtroom, right? Like, she's an experienced lady. She's a smart lady. She's not a stupid person. She's she knows what she's doing up there. So I think she performed very, very well. I think Trump, I think she was a little nervous out of the gate. You could hear her swollen, her throat swollen a little bit at the beginning. Then it was even. Then she really got Trump on the border when she made the debate size comment and derailed him, and he wasn't able to attack her. So I think she won that 10-15 minute period. Then we got a little bit more out of Trump, and it kind of balanced out again. Overall, I would say that she won the debate, but I don't think it was a blowout win. And my personal beliefs, I just think what's actually happening in the country is probably going to swing some more stuff in the swing states than the debates. As much as the Haitians eating cats is, could partially be a meme, I think that what we're seeing with the economy, what we're seeing with all this money getting thrown around, that has the potential to swing votes, maybe more than the debate. But entertainment factor, this thing was a blast, dude. It was fucking awesome. It was fun watching them go toe to toe. It was like a boxing match without the punching. The coolest thing to hit, PL, out of the gate, you could have bet on handshake. 3-1 odds on handshake. She went across the middle all the way over to his podium to come in for the handshake, dude.
And she
made sure she got the handshake.
She made
dude.
sure she had money on the handshake.
Yeah.
She had fucking money on the handshake.
It was uncomfortable how badly she wanted the handshake.
Well, I think that's a good bet to make because you want to make sure that she's trying to outclass him. If I were, that's got to be an angle for her. One interesting thing, though, is that Polymarket was pricing in that she would win the debate beforehand, right? Wasn't it?
Well, that's because also the resolver is who 538 thinks wins. and 538 it's left leaning already. So basically, Kamala would have had to have a disaster
evening.
Yeah, for 538 to say that she lost. So it was already weighted in her favor.
Let me see this. Let me see this handshake. Let's go.
Look at her coming across.
That's
comes in with it. It was a firm handshake on both sides. You know what?
Look at this strut from both of them. Look at that. That's good. So real quick, since we're on this topic, and then we're going to move on from this, but since we're on the topic of the debate and the presidential election, blah, 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 I just sent over to Ray a little clip from Scott Melker's Wolf of All Streets podcast. It's actually a very good, sophisticated trading podcast. He had this gentleman who I know Kix follows on Twitter, Andrew Abacus, AP Abacus. Check out this clip and hold on real quick before you play this, Ray. I had been feeling this way and I've kind of mentioned it on the show before. So I felt very validated to hear Andrew discuss it on the show. Ray, let this run.
Another thesis that I have is if Harris wins, that may not be good for crypto at large, but
great for Bitcoin.
Yes. If you're consolidating all of that crypto money and Bitcoin is the only thing that's thumbs up good from the regime, I don't see how that's not a good thing for Bitcoin. That capital is going to consolidate into Bitcoin.
All right, so that's the most garbage take I've ever heard in my life, because it's basically saying, like, yeah, man, if they fucking napalm the entire fucking industry, then the one thing that has been allowed to survive will survive. And then that's the only thing people can buy. So it's going to go up, dude. What?
Isn't it like a chicken and egg thing too? Like, because the crypto market goes as Bitcoin goes. So if the crypto market like consolidates into Bitcoin, then the Bitcoin will go up, and won't it funnel back into the crypto market at large?
That's what it's done thus far. I think what you need to think about is the difference between Bitcoin and crypto. The fact that, like, if you're building, let's take Kix, for example, right? Let's say you're building like an on-chain video game company. You're maybe thinking about issuing a token. You're issuing in-game assets. If Gary Gensler's up your ass telling you over and over again, like if he stays as the SEC chair and he's up your ass telling you it's a security, Wells notice, this, that, and the other thing, all sorts of bullshit on the crypto side. Bitcoin is already essentially deemed to be a commodity. That's essentially where we're at right now. We have an ETF. BlackRock's involved, right? BlackRock did not get involved, by the way, with Ethereum. It's just kind of pointing out that if you're building a sophisticated crypto platform or some sort of crypto startup or crypto company, right, which is not Bitcoin, right, a crypto company, some DeFi, something or other, a crypto wallet, an exchange for NFTs, all these different crypto things, the likelihood of getting pressure from the powers that be if they are in an anti-crypto environment is high, and it's going to be a huge pain in the ass. You might not be able to operate in the United States. You might have to go to Dubai. You might have to go to Portugal. We already know this. That's kind of where we've been at for the past 4 years. You can talk to crypto founders all the time right now, and they'll say, like, if Harris wins, I'm not going to stay in the United States because of all this bullshit. Think about Polymarket, for example. They do operate in New York, but you need to use a VPN if you're going to use them. That's the situation. Bitcoin as an asset is completely different. It's just like an asset you can buy that there's now an ETF. That's not going away. There's no industry around that. It's just an asset. It's like buying gold. There's no industry. So I think what he's pointing out is, even if things are a huge pain in the ass for people that are trying to build crypto companies, which, by the way, I want to succeed. I want people building crypto companies to succeed. That's one thing, but that has nothing to do with just being able to buy and hold Bitcoin. And so if the crypto stuff's a pain in the ass, if in the United States you're not going to be able to buy things on Coinbase anymore, this is obviously an extreme situation. I'm not saying that I'm predicting this, but think about the most extreme version of a Harris regime. Then yeah, I mean, people are probably going to buy Bitcoin. I think that's what he's saying, and that's kind of
he's basically like saying, like, if they make tech startups illegal in the United States, then Apple's going to go fucking through the roof. So just buy Apple.
That's kind of a decent way of looking at it. It's a different spin, but it's kind of a decent, like, if like literally it's illegal to operate a small tech startup, then but people are still bullish on tech, they're probably going to plow their money in Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, blah, blah, blah. Right. So that's kind of a way to think about it. It's obviously a different situation, apples and oranges. Easy. Do you have any thoughts on this? I'd be curious to know what you think about this.
To be honest, I kind of alluded to it at the start, was like, when we stopped seeing crypto price action move after these debates, we haven't heard them make any mention of it since the Bitcoin conference. We've now more or less just seen a decoupling from the political standpoint to what's happening with macro crypto moves. And I don't think that's going to change. Like right now, it's just like it was a major conversation point early on, but it seems like both parties have determined that it's not going to be a major swing topic this year, or else they'd be hammering down on it one way or another. That's kind of the bigger thing. On top of it, we haven't seen Gensler pushing as aggressively as of late. Like focus almost largely has been on cuts and figuring out what the plan is for rate cuts. We got some data today that seems like we've basically all but locked in a 25 bips cut. So my 50 speculation is probably now going to be wrong, which, damn, would have loved it. Would have loved it. But we got a little bit of data that seems like the landing may be softer than initially anticipated. So when you look at stuff like that, we still have 500 points that could be cut over the last 2 years. And in general, that it doesn't matter who the sitting president is. Risk on assets are set to be primed for some upward price action here, regardless of who's in office. So that's why I'm like, I've really kind of shifted now from like, okay, I really want a pro crypto candidate in office to it doesn't fucking matter who's going to be in office. It's basically been established that at this point, crypto in general, from a global standpoint, isn't going anywhere. And the US has more or less accepted that with things like ETF approvals, which you told me, if you told me a year ago we would have a Bitcoin and an ETF approval in the US, I would have told you were smoking crack.
Right?
I would have been like, you are slamming galaxy gas, brother. And that's not the case anymore. Like right now, it's clear that like the U.S. has to open up to it because of how much money is flowing into that globally and what's happening across the world. That it doesn't matter. Like it does not matter. They're gonna have to accept it, or we're gonna fall behind. And the same thing goes for AI. Like you start to look at these major trends, and the U.S. has now realized, holy shit, we can't regulate this as aggressively as we might want to. We need to be more open to it. And like they're getting decent insight from other countries, and they're not first, but they're certainly not last. Like the ETF approvals in Brazil, Canada, and Europe for crypto assets, we're tailing it. Not a bad move. We've seen Europe push back against AI extremely hard, where even Apple, you had mentioned Apple is firing jabs at them in their latest tech release. So I'm like, okay, clearly we're going to have to be more pro a lot of this stuff, or we're going to lose business, which who gives a shit who's in office? That's the whole goal, is to make sure that business is booming in the U.S. So long-winded rant, but all in all, I don't think it matters anymore.
To sum it up, I mean, I was listening to Pomp's podcast. I know I reference that on this show from time to time. He said there's only one thing that's actually for certain, is that no matter who wins the presidential election, the politicians in DC are going to debase the US dollar. That is a 100%. That's 100%. There's no situation where money printer doesn't go burr. There's no situation where 8 years from now, the house that your parents own in the United States is worth less than it is now. There just is no situation where that's the case. And if money printer goes burr, then it's good for risk assets. It just is. And specifically for Bitcoin more than anything else.
If I'm putting my tinfoil cap on, I have the wild, like the most absurd theory in that we're going to see pushback against Bitcoin to a degree in which the U.S. government can continue to allocate and acquire as much as physically possible to pay off the national debt with it and start to lend against Bitcoin, which is go up in theory fixes the national debt situation we're in.
I think that's fair. I also think it's a national security issue at this point, where we need to have more Bitcoin than Russia and China. Like you literally have to. Like what, you want China to have 2x the amount of Bitcoin you have? How stupid are you? Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, so
real quick, I don't think money printer go burr unless we have a big crash. Then I think it will, because if they turn it back on without a big crash, there's already so many people that are priced out of houses. They're priced out of being able to buy a car. They're priced out of almost being able to afford groceries. And if you're just gonna burr the money printer again, then you're gonna have real fucking issues.
I'm not talking about COVID level burr. That's actually historic 40% of the total money supply in a year and a half. I'm not printing money doesn't mean we're gonna go inflate it by 40%. Joe Biden. All these stimulus packages, that is an increase in the money supply. Where do you think that money comes from? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but I think even
in Ukraine.
Yeah, but I think like even that, like they're gonna, I mean that's just a disaster in itself. But like even the interest rates, I don't think they're gonna go from 5 to 0. Like they'll take them from 5 to 4, maybe 3.5, but they're gonna stay elevated probably, right?
Yeah, but there is still a gradual debasement of the currency versus being on a hard money standard. like that is not up for debate. The currency is going to be gradually debased. I'm not saying it's going to be a 40% COVID rip $2,000 checks. Holy shit, $3 trillion bucks. That's crazy. And
yeah, like for example, in the 90s, if your parents made $85K a year, it's the equivalent of making $250,000 a year today. That's what's stolen from you.
Yeah, I think it was in the 80s, but yes, I know what you're talking about. And also keep in mind when Obama bailed out the banks, I think that stimulus package was $600 billion. And at that time, everybody acted like that was this ungodly amount of money.
We throw that shit around for breakfast, dude.
Literally throw it around for breakfast. $100 billion to Ukraine. No one bats an eye. I forget how much went to the Taliban by accident recently. Like literally, like all this shit is just going down. Nobody even cares. So that when you talk about currency debasement, 100 billion here, 100 billion there, it starts to add up, man, over time. We're not on a hard money standard. We're just not. So real quick, this is Catnip replacing Runes. This is Udi Wertheimer of Quantum Cats and Taproot Wizards, an up-and-coming startup in the Bitcoin ordinals ecosystem. Call it the broader Bitcoin ecosystem. There's a new token standard on Bitcoin that's going to provide additional functionality over Runes and BRC20 tokens. So essentially what you're seeing is the searching for different protocols to exist on Bitcoin that kind of fulfill some of the more crypto-esque functionality that we've seen on other blockchains. Easy Kicks, any comment on this? We'll move on to XCOPY in a minute, but I thought it was worth mentioning here, rated 2.
I think it's interesting. I mean, if I've been following what Udi's been doing with some of this, and that's my biggest complaint with Runes has always been the UI. It's always been the UI and the user experience and just how piss poor it is. And it doesn't feel like it's any different than BRC20s. I love Udi's comments on this. He's like, we're making this not because we think Runes are cool. We actually think Runes are garbage, but because we want to just build cool things and see what sticks. And I'm like, that's probably the best way you can get into that, you know? So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with it. Do we see influx of capital? You can't argue that Bitcoin does not have the most amount of money on any of these chains. So maybe meme coins tail on that. Who knows? I hope we get some better order books. I hope we get some better volume. We'll see what happens with it. All in all, though, I think it's a nice innovative pivot here and a positive for Runes. We'll see if price action follows or not, though.
Kicks, anything?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. I think it's stupid. I think ordinals on Bitcoin,
runes on Bitcoin or shitcoins on Bitcoin?
No, I think ordinals on Bitcoin was a cool idea. I think Runes and BRC20s are stupid.
Okay, Kicks doesn't want fungible tokens on Bitcoin. Get out of here. I think over time, this will be developed. There will be a place. It's hard to tell what it will be, whether it'll be Catnip, Runes, or something else. BRC20s, we will see. Moving on to XCOPY. So XCOPY, an NFT artist, very well known, very successful, is seemingly having a resurgence. Is the run on CryptoPunks and the run on XCOPY stuff, is that effectively an indicator of early interest in NFTs and people starting to accumulate before what people are expecting is a bull run? Or is it just not, and it's a mistake for people to pay these high prices right now?
I brought it up yesterday. I brought it up yesterday. I said this could be one of those leading indicators that does kind of preempt an NFT run. I got shot down pretty hard on that, and Kix's take was based. I mean, you can spell out your take. I mean, but you're basically on the other side of that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think punks have led runs before in the past. XCOPY is definitely a blue chip. So have blue chips led runs in the past. Certainly. I also think if you pull up the grifters chart, this thing hasn't moved for 2 fucking years. The floor price. So it's just, it just hasn't moved. So, I mean, it's not like this. If this thing was 20 ETH, then I'd be like, holy shit, maybe we're onto something here. Yeah. If you go to activity all the time, I used to run OpenSea, dog.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a boomer take here. You got to go to the other tab. I mean, this is just, so you don't get a floor price here. You get average price.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Now these things haven't fucking moved for 2 fucking years, dude. The reason why these things are moving more is because ETH's down 50% compared to 3 months ago. So you're getting much better USD prices.
Here's one thing is that, so I want to think oh, this is people that know that the NFT market is about to heat up. So their smart money is buying up CryptoPunks and XCOPY, the highest value stuff before the NFT run. That's what I want to think. And I do think that that's a possibility. But I also have to remember that from May 2022, which was essentially the start of an aggressive decline. Technically, the aggressive decline started in January 2022. That's technically the all-time high for NFT volume. But if you remember May 2022, that's when Otherdeed launched. There was still a tremendous amount of volume at that time. And that was the last spike before the heinous gradual bleed that's essentially continued until now with some small bumps up, right? That's essentially.
Remember, what was the floor price of Otherdeeds when we were on that live stream that night?
It was so much money, man. It was so
Bro,
much.
I was yelling that this was the top. I was like,
I think it came out at a multiple billion-dollar market cap easy.
1,000%.
Like $7,000 on gas.
1,000 supply, bro.
Dude,
that was fucking peak stupidity, dude.
The codas. If you got one of those special codas,
It was like 40 ETH.
Yeah, man, it was insane. I mean, every mutant ape going into that was worth over $100,000. Every single one. There's 20,000 of them, right? And that's not counting the rare ones, right? So anyway, it was complete bubble, peak euphoria, all-time high for NFTs, crypto cycle high for a new crypto asset. The actual crypto cycle high for Bitcoin and Ethereum was months before in October 2021, and this new version of crypto, which Hicks is laughing looking at the picture. Anyway,
the floor price.
I know, right? And 0.15 floor price. Absolutely.
What is that? $300, dude?
Easy was like called crazy for saying these could dip below 1 ETH. I remember the shows back then.
Dude,
you just don't get it easy. You just don't get it, dude. There's a fucking metaverse and you're going to interoperable.
Dude, I got a coda. I minted a coda and I could have sold it right there for like $100,000. Nick did do exactly that. I ended up selling mine for like $35,000. Like it bled for so long. I was like, let me sell this thing for $35,000. I think the floor price on a coda right now is less than $800. I wouldn't.
I think no, they're more than that. I think they're like 1.5, 2 ETH. They're like 3 to 4 grand.
Okay,
so it's not completely zero, but it's still less than the gas you spent to mint the thing. It was 2 ETH in gas. You were spending $6,000 to have the right to purchase one for 2 ETH. So you were in out the bat for about $12,000, 10 to 12 grand. Like that was the crazy part to me. And you could have sold it immediately for a 2x. So you had 20 bands going right back to you on it right out the gate. Like, 30 ETH. Damn, Ray.
Were codas selling for 100 grand floor?
Okay.
Wow, that's insane. Yeah. So Ray just fucking crushed. That's right at mint, Ray?
Yeah, right at mint.
Wait, so codas were selling for 100 grand floor, dude.
So it was a mint, and then like they revealed which ones had codas a couple days later, and I just smashed that accept button on that offer.
There you go, Ray.
Really, if you ever want to know the stupidest thing in the world to ever do is like go in on a buy with a buddy, so that like you do not have like your own decision making whatsoever. Because my buddy was like half the way there on enough ETH to mint, and I was like, cool, I'll send you the other half to mint, and then we'll like co-own the NFT or whatever. We got a fucking coda, dude. I'm like, dude, let's fucking yeet this. That's 50 grand each after taxes. We're looking at like 30 G's, dude. We can have like 4 vacations together, dude, and still be good. Dude wanted to see Valhalla. Now we got $800, dude. We could both buy like a new driver online.
Wow. Well, that's pretty crazy. But anyway, just to finish what I was kind of suggesting is that from this moment, we got distracted because this is such a ridiculous, preposterous moment. And a lot of people probably don't know. Maybe if you weren't in the space at this time, you don't know how completely outrageous this time was. But from this time until now, which has been a gradual bleed in NFT volume, and obviously there's been bright spots and there's been assets that outperformed, for example, like the Pudgy Penguins, for example, have outperformed during this time period. So it's not like all is lost. There have been winners, right? But generally speaking, it's been a slow bleed for everything. That whole time, the whole bear market, 2022 and 2023, the whole year, every few weeks, and I'm not exaggerating, 2-3 weeks, there would be a $500,000 sale on a CryptoPunk. There would be autoglyphs would sell. There were big sales the entire time, the whole way down. Cyrus would tweet, someone just loaded up a fresh wallet and swept 20 Bored Apes at 20 Ethereum. Do you know what I mean? Over and over and over again, there were moments like that. It wasn't just empty. There was action from time to time. Every few weeks, whale action. All of those buys were a mistake in theory, or they were too early. They weren't the bottom. You know, like if you swept 20 Bored Apes at 25 ETH, what's a Bored Ape worth now? It's at 12.5 ETH. You're down 50%. So, and you probably underperformed aggressive. Like you should have just been buying liquid Solana and liquid Bitcoin the whole time, you know, like, so anyway, I'm just pointing.
And this is just every crypto thing until the end of time. All just on different time horizons. My point being is that you got to know when to sell. You got to know when to sell, unless you are sitting on something that you think will be around for 20 years. You got to pick your time. You guess what? You bought Peloton stock. You fucking really thought, dude, a little fucking iPad on a fucking treadmill with some dude in New York City running a Pilates class. You thought that was worth 15 billion? Guess what? It was for a moment in time. You could have fucking sold it. Now, guess what, dude? You can't even afford a Peloton.
Right. I mean, Nick actually bought and sold Peloton stock during the COVID stock trading mania for very, very strong gains. People are commenting. Some people are saying biggest NFT run coming. Some people are saying NFTs won't come back because of this. Of course, I believe that NFTs, like other crypto assets, are cyclical and will have another price-related run for sure. I also separately think that NFT startups and NFT technology will develop over time, and use cases that make much more sense to the average person besides just buying and selling, you know, in other words, besides speculation, will absolutely develop and manifest themselves, you know, in the NFT sector of crypto. I do think that this stuff takes a long time. And I do think that if you think about the all-time high for previous NFTs being January or May 2022, and you're saying that crypto operates in 4-year cycles and different crypto assets operate in 4-year cycles, well, 4 years from 2022 is 2026. So you got a lot of time to wait before you even get there. And when you're in this every single day, it can feel like stuff's really dragging on and it's never coming back. And then all of a sudden it's 2026 and you're exactly 4 years from previous all-time high. And you're like, holy shit, here's another all-time high, right? I'm not suggesting that that's exactly how it's going to happen, but you have to really think how long this stuff can truly take to manifest itself. You look at the 2016, 2017, 2018 ICO boom, and you start looking at the 4-year cycle on that. DeFi summer in 2020, would you look at that? That's 4 years later. Meme coin explosion in 2024, would you look at that? That's 4 years later. I'm just pointing out that these 4-year cycles seem to be continuing to happen realistically because of the Bitcoin, you know, kind of structure with the 4-year halving cycle. And maybe that's what's creating our 4-year crypto cycles. It's hard to understand. Nobody in the world understands why. Mike Alfred, who I recommend listening to, pointed out it's actually not that important to understand it because nobody even understands, but it's more important to respect it and to understand that it's happening. Fade the channel over here supporting Bitcoin. He's saying always buy Bitcoin, always, a little or a lot buy. I don't disagree with that because, you know, Bitcoin is the only kind of surefire thing that's going to continue to go up. You're buying 1/21 millionth of the world's money, as Michael Saylor just pointed out on CNBC. That's kind of where we're at. But that doesn't mean that you can't get way bigger trading gains buying riskier crypto assets that, like Kix said, you benefit from selling. Kix?
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, like at the end of the day, you know, you look back, FDR 1930s, right? Seized a bunch of gold, right? Can they try to seize your Bitcoin? Yes, but guess what? You can hide a seed phrase in a suppository a lot easier than you can hide some gold up there. You know what I'm saying? Just saying.
Yep. All the guys that I know a guy that was like, yeah, I buried cash in the backyard just in case I like get married one day and I get a divorce. I want to like have like a box of cash in the backyard. I was like, sir, you need to buy Bitcoin right now. Like that's what you need more than anything else. Like you are a Bitcoin guy, you just don't know it yet. Yeah. Let's stay on the NFT topic a little bit here. V1 versus V2 CryptoPunks. You've seen a lot of action on CryptoPunks, which, by the way, is a crypto asset. I think CryptoPunks are at this point kind of accepted by broader crypto as something that has value. Kix is laughing right now. NFT influencer Beanie thinks it makes no sense that V1 CryptoPunks are trading at 95% of the price of standard CryptoPunks. So I think I'm reading that as he's saying that V1 punks are have good value here, and they should that gap should not be 95%. Kicks, you got a big smile. Let's hear what you think on this.
Oh, it's just funny. I mean, like sometimes I look back at just the stupid things that I did where I just spent like literal money just to be like funny. And I like when Nick bought his crypto punk, I bought a V1 female version of his punk for like
I do remember that
4 ETH. So yeah, I'm down 50%, but I just think it's funny because Beanie's trying to like pump him. So I'm like, sure, dude. Like I don't mind. Like go for it, dude. Make this the new paradigm so I can get out of that trade.
Easy. What do you think of these? Long-term value here, short-term value. What do you think? Nothing.
I don't want to touch them. Yeah, I don't want to touch them. I think there's better trades, dude. Like, I'd want to pick up Doodles here. That's way more interesting to me after their Toronto Film Festival play. I think that they have long-term trade opportunity and like long-term hold opportunity from the IP front. That's kind of what I'm looking at. And I'm like, this one feels better than V1 Punks. Like V1 Punks, I have zero interest. Literally zero interest.
I think if you're trying
Could
to
not
hold
care
something on
about
like a 10-year time horizon, this could be like the like don't stamp collectors like to collect misprints. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
So if you're on a super long time horizon, so if your thesis is A, I believe CryptoPunks will be not only relevant but dominant 10 years from now, and B, I have enough money to buy one of these stupid things, and I think that they can be a synthetic, are synthetically tied to CryptoPunks, then yeah, fuck yeah, buy one, dude.
And sorry to people listening on Twitter Spaces. Somehow my mic got muted there, so the audio should be back. Please let me know if it's not, but I think the audio should be back. Yeah, I mean, Kick's thesis is correct, and you're talking about the long-term collectability of CryptoPunks. Takes time for that to shake out, so you're gonna have to wait quite a while for that to go. Right?
I'm glad that Kix had a thesis after his initial one, because I kind of framed this like, oh, Kix, I know you held one of these. What was your thesis getting in? And it was Nick bought one. I bought a female version for 4 ETH.
That is definitely super funny.
I'd rather be holding the ETH right now for sure, because I think that was like when ETH was like 1,200.
So we got a few other. I think that we can just skip to meme coin instincts. Okay, so actually, I guess one last NFT segment.
Yeah, one last NFT segment. Someone make sure to buy a Solana worth of dinner cat for me.
Very funny. So we got Grapes NFT founder selling the collection, the token, and the games to an anonymous investor. This is a story that we've heard many times. Any commentary? Easy.
I'm not surprised. I put like a long form tweet about it, and I was just like, dude, you guys, dimensionals, dead drop, all 3 different situations, all the same bullshit outcome. They extracted liquidity, found an opportunity, and realized that they don't see a long-term path here. They didn't want to continue to put in the work as the space winded down. You have to think this was Animoca backed 3.5 ETH floor at one point in a multiple billion-dollar market cap on a meme coin. As soon as the meme coin started going down, public perception flipped on them. Yeah, I think that I'm in the boat right now where it's just like we're going to see more of this before we see a game really gain traction. There are games out there I'm excited about, but anything on ETH mainnet for a game, I think you're just shooting yourself in the foot. I think in all 3 of these that I outlined were all ETH mainnet, and I didn't even outline that part of it. But so far, we've seen a terrible track record from anything launching on ETH mainnet. Absolutely awful. Short-term pumps, sure. Long-term sustainability, yeah, these things are in the absolute gutter, dude.
Very hard, like you pointed out, to build any gaming entity in crypto right now because of how early it is, and we don't know how long it's going to take for this stuff to shake out. How many views do you get on this tweet? Easy. This is a good looking little deep dive.
I don't know, not as many. I think less than 10K. The timing is a big thing, because it's like if I just write one of these out, my mentally where I am is like time. Yeah, 4.3.
Wow.
What's even more impressive though, yeah, we could dive into the Twitter analytics. I had a bunch of things that I could have improved on this. Better hooks, stuff like that. The things that are crushing right now are the long form videos. Now, if we want to get into Twitter,
yeah, because that gets into TikTok. It gets in the TikTok video feed, man. Sometimes I'm on the TikTok swipe action on my phone.
That pinned video, bro. That pinned video, I think it's at 30K impressions right now.
There you go.
Nice.
Very nice.
Those ones feel good. And that's just 7-minute video. Yeah, these are just repurposed YouTube videos of just uploaded after the fact. So we'll see what happens with it.
Hey guys, I'm one of the Grapes founders. Really excited to introduce our eager investor. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, very excited to come in here as an anonymous investor to buy this project away from these founders. I've seen a lot of stuff that just gets me fucking so excited about this, and so I want to stay anonymous. So there's Coinbase is just going to fund a wallet, and you'll see it all get transferred over there. But really excited to move on to this new venture. Thank you. Bye.
Wicked funny, Kicks. That was awesome. I will bite my tongue on any commentary on the Grapes NFT founder selling the collection token and games to an anonymous investor because I can't help but tell the truth when I comment on this stuff, and people get quite upset when I tell the truth. So I'm just going to move on to the results of our meme coin instinct segment. So Ray, can you walk, and reminder, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in now, at the beginning of this show, a mere 50 minutes ago or so, 45 minutes ago, the three of us looked at Pump Vision on BullX to examine what we think the best opportunity is for buying a meme coin with a 45-minute time horizon during the duration of this show. And me, Easy, and Kicks all made our picks. Two of the market caps were sub $5,000, so not exactly mainstream assets. Easy picked one with a higher market cap. Ray is going to share the results of what performed the best over the past 45 minutes. Ray, please take it away.
Yeah, so we're gonna just take a look at each one, and then I'll bring up the table. So Dinner Cat at 3.5 to end the run didn't really move. We had David at 2.75, did not
didn't
really
rush.
move. But we saw some action
In the wrong way.
We saw some action here from Rubber Chicken Monkey or Rubber Chicken Mask. Up to 90K. It peaked at 100.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I knew the Rubber Chicken Mask was gonna run. I knew it. I had faith in my boys.
On the in the last 50 minutes, if you followed Easy into that trade on BullX, you would have had a nice little 40%.
I just want to say though, P, a 2% gain in 50 minutes. That's nothing to scoff at. 24 hours, you're looking at 58%.
I'm glad I picked a winner. Easy with the institutional meme point of Rubber Chicken Mask. I should have known. I mean, this thing was just legitimate. Going into this, I should have known.
Good raids on Twitter. This is a good website theory, man. If you have some good pictures you can respond to a tweet with, it's a modern day good website. Some good memes go far.
Yeah, me and Kicks.
He's that kind of guy you bring to the club, PO, because like he just knows how to pick them. You know what I mean? He's like, all right, over there, 40 feet left, 6 o'clock. There's 3 of us, 3 of them.
We're running up. We're opening the 3 set. Yeah, me and Kicks went with the D-Gen play. Easy played it way safer with Rubber Chicken Mask. It was.
Do you think that's a real chicken on the guy's face? I
don't want to find out.
Okay.
I don't want to find out either. Well, look, this was a really, really fun segment. We got to use Pump Vision on BullX, so super cool stuff. Anyway, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. We do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time each and every week. You can listen on audio podcasts, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Like the video. It helps us a lot. And definitely subscribe if you want to actually watch the show versus just listening. If you want to just listen and you're on Twitter, then obviously Twitter Spaces is a good way to do it. We've been on there for years. Anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. We will be back tomorrow. And yeah, let's just keep it moving.